I'm Anne-Louise from Minerva, and I'm here today to sew along with you this easy breezy lemon squeezy lacy dress by Stylark in a truly unique Minerva exclusive print challis. This pattern is an excellent make for the beginner looking to branch out and advance their skills. It's a slip-on dress, so we don't need to worry about those pesky fastenings. It features a gathered skirt and a must for every handmade dress, pockets. The bodice of the dress has some rather clever style lines and has some fun direction and texture. This dress can be made in a stretch or woven fabric. For the woven fabric, there is an option to put in a side fastening zip, but today I'm making a size up, so I will be able to slip in and out no problem. The recommended fabrics are knits, jersey, rayon and silk. This dress is available in women's sizes 4 to 16 and 18 to 30, and also kids sizes 1 to 8. Is this not the cutest girl gang you've ever seen? Adorable. Of course, everything we talk about today is available on Minerva right now, and will be linked down below and will pop up throughout this video for your ease of shopping. Without further ado, let's get sewing. For this dress, I'm using this vibrant, abstract, Minerva exclusive viscose challis. It has bright brushstrokes of sunset orange, deep sea blue and summer night black. This fabric is called Tuscan Tranquility, and in this pattern all I want to do is lounge on a balcony in Tuscany with a glass of wine and a bowl of olives. We will also need a lightweight iron-on interfacing. When you cut out, be wary of the instructions on the pattern pieces. Their directional stripes will make a big impact. This is something I fell foul of and didn't realise till it was too late, which sounds very dramatic, but just means that all my stripes run in the same direction. But we are here to make mistakes, so you don't have to. If you want to see some pictures of the correct pattern placement, there were some lovely pictures available for reference posted under the Stylark dress. Now all our pieces are cut out and the neckline facings are interfaced, it's time to load up our matching thread and get stitching. This pattern has a 1 cm seam allowance, and we will be back stitching at the beginning and end of our stitches. Our first job is going to be stay stitching the neckline of the front and back bodice. Then, with the right sides together, we sew the front and back bodice together at the shoulders. The viscose does need a seam finish, especially as there's only a 1 cm seam allowance. I recently invested in an overlocker for seam finishing purposes, and it has really made such a difference to my seams. No longer will I be spending double the actual amount of sewing time on my seam finishes. This is our bodice so far. We then repeat this step on our neck facings, sewing them right sides together at the shoulder. Then, while we're pressing that seam open, we're going to go around the outer edge of the neck facing and press in about 1/4 to 1/2 inch to create a neat edge finish. Then, back at our machine, I prefer to use a zigzag stitch when doing facing edges, just to ensure it catches all those wiggly bias cuts. Now it is time to bring our pieces right sides together. We're going to match side seams and centre front and centre back. Don't be afraid if we need to do a bit of easing to get them to sit nicely. Like naughty children, they might need a bit of reorganisation before they sit proper and pay attention. Style Arc, the creators of the pattern we are using today, are designed so you can create your own style and stand out in a crowd. They are industry-based sewing patterns, covering a wide range of style from trousers and blouses to occasion and bridesmaid dresses. Each pattern contains an instruction sheet and a well-labelled pattern pieces. They have a very straight-to-it style of instructions without diagrams. That may be a bit of a challenge for a beginner, but for those looking to test their sewing knowledge, they are perfect. Now is an excellent time to put in our wonderfully woven Minerva Maker label. This will also come in incredibly handy to tell which side is the back. Taking it nice and slow, we stitch around the neckline. I would like to carry out a quick survey. Hands up who leaves their pins in as they sew. Is it just me? I like everything to stay where it is. What do you folks do to keep your fabric from slipping around as you sew? Let us know in the comments. For such a light and fine fabric, it's recommended to use some extra fine and sharp needles, such as 60/8. This will prevent any of the threads pulling through and prevent weird pulls. Also, using something like silk pins will also protect the fabric. After our neck facing is attached, we clip the neckline to ensure the facing sits properly. We then press all the seam allowance towards the facing, and we then understitch the seam allowance to the facing about 1/8 of an inch from the stitch line, making sure to catch our wonderfully woven label in the understitching to make sure it doesn't roll outward and wave hello to passers-by. Please be aware that Minerva exclusive woven labels do not in fact wave at passers-by, however, they do grant 3 wishes. After our facings are understitched, we give the neckline a good press, and this is our bodice so far. Now we start work on our princess style side seams. With right sides together, we attach the sleeve and side panels, matching the centre shoulder and front and back notches. After they are stitched together, we press that seam towards their side seams. Unless we want a handkerchief hem poncho, we will now need to work on our underarm seams. With right sides together, sew both underarm seams. I just want to take a quick break here at the halfway mark to talk about our wonderful community here at Minerva. We really want to encourage everyone to take up something crafty. At the top right of the post, you'll be able to follow Minerva, keep up to date with offers, new releases, general fabric prettiness, and of course tutorials, sew-alongs and top pattern pics. Let us know what you would like to see next. Comment below. We now have a fully functioning bodice. Now we start work on the skirt. The skirt pattern comes with the pockets marked. If you're smart enough to plan ahead, you'll have the pockets marked on the skirt pieces already. If not, it's easy peasy to pull out the skirt pattern piece and mark off the pockets. Now on the pockets, I'm marking 1 centimetre down from the top edge and matching that mark and the skirt mark up, right sides together, pinning the pocket in place and stopping 1 centimetre up from the pocket bottom edge. Repeat this step for the rest of the pockets. Put all right sides together with the pocket bag on the inside front of the skirt. We then sew all 4 pockets along the skirt edge, stopping and starting at our marked 1 centimetre points. I've already overlocked the edges of the pocket and skirt, because these edges can be a little tricky to finish. A zigzag stitch beforehand will have a similar effect. A French seam is an excellent finish for a pocket because of the double line of stitching. It means you could fit a couple of gold bars in there and they wouldn't fall out the bottom. Can you imagine how much fabric you could buy with a couple of gold bars? We now pin in place our pocket bags, right sides together, keeping the skirt seam allowance free of our stitching. Have you crafty folks ever pocket hacked a garment and snuck them in? Let us know your sneaky pocket makes down below in the comments. If you're looking for a walk on the wild side, a good choice of fabric for this style arc pattern would be Minerva exclusive Zebra Collage Viscose. This bright, bold fabric has some wonderful makes tagged under it. Have you worked with Minerva exclusive fabric yet? Don't forget to tag the fabric so you can inspire other makers. We now sew the pocket bags right sides together, keeping to our 1 centimetre seam allowance. Now folding the pocket seam allowance out of the way, on each side of the skirt we stitch down from the top of the skirt to the top of the pocket, then we stitch from the bottom of the pocket to the bottom of the skirt. We now have a skirt with some lovely elephant ears on the inside. and from the outside we have a near-on invisible pocket. We will now run 2 straight lines of stitching around the top of the skirt to create the gathers. Because no one wants to watch me sew 2 straight lines of stitching, I'm using this time to talk about the wonderful exclusive fabrics available at Minerva. This gorgeous Minerva exclusive Tuscan Tranquility viscose is printed onto the most wonderful quality fabric. And I can say that because I am currently wearing Minerva exclusive Feline Flex, one of my favourite dresses at the moment. Minerva exclusive viscose is derived from wood pulp and is more breathable than cotton. This is a light to medium weight fabric with a fantastic drape. As this pattern is quite dark, it shouldn't require a lining, but if you're using a lighter coloured viscose or a more figure hugging item, it might be best to line it. Let's get back to some sewing. Now we have created some gathering stitches, let's attach our skirt and bodice. First we line up the side seams right sides together, then pull the bobbin threads until the skirt fits around the bodice top. Then, with approximately 30 million pins, we sew the skirt and bodice together. Viscose has an interesting history. Viscose rayon is truly a European invention. French scientist and industrialist, whose name I won't even try and pronounce, is credited with inventing the first commercial viscose fibre, as a cheaper alternative to silk. But the fabric was so flammable, it was quickly taken off the market until a safer process was developed by a German company. In 1892, British scientists patented the production process, and by 1905 the first commercial viscose rayon was on the market. Today we are surrounded by beautifully designed viscose that is a lot less flammable than the original. How do they make such a breathable and well-loved fabric? To make viscose, wood pulp is broken down and reformed through a series of physical and chemical reactions. The most common trees for this are fast-growing, normally eucalyptus, pine or beech. First, the wood fibre is dissolved in a bath of strong chemicals until it becomes a soupy consistency. From there, cellulose is extracted and turned into a solid fibre that can be spun into the beautiful fabric. Now all we have to do is hem our sleeves and hem, which again, no one wants to watch me sew straight lines, so let's skip to the good bit. This is a wonderfully whimsical but practical dress that can be used for any season. For example, for Edinburgh in November, I've gone for belt and tights. But this dress would be awesome for something so casual as a beach cover-up, but also classy enough for out and about on a warm summer evening. This dress took me roughly 16 to 18 hours. I would say for a confident sewer, this is a fun weekend project. I love the bold print from the exclusive Minerva viscose. It makes me think of modern art, coffee shops, and reading sophisticated biographies. This delicate fabric sure does pack a punch. Here at Minerva, we love to hear your views. What would you like to make with this fabric? What fabric would you use for this style arc pattern? Any questions, comment below and we'd be happy to answer them. And don't forget, Minerva Craft Club members get a 10% discount for 12 months when they sign up. And creating a free account, you'll get a welcome present of a discount coupon. Join us with our lovely community of makers, follow, comment and like, and we'll see you next time.